Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. I hope everyone is doing fabulous. This, what is it now? Good to see. Lost track of the time. It is Wednesday morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I start, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to put your notifications on, subscribe to the channel, all that sweet stuff. We're not in the mood today, are we? I mean, a lot of people, obviously, look, Ruben Amorim, like my guy just said there in the comments, is getting pelters. He's going to get pelters. We didn't beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers is a team that we should defeat. Obviously, we're not hiding from that. We're not sugarcoating that. Absolutely. But I want to hear an intelligent conversation. I want to have an intelligent conversation. I haven't had an intelligent conversation over the last 24 hours in regards to Ruben Amorim. And I think there's a lot of people who are just throwing the, obviously, pelters at Ruben Amorim. Of course, some of it is deserved. Some of it not so. I think Manchester United is a collective, and I think that is where we should remember, and that is where we should stay in regards to the problems that surround Manchester United at the moment. Look, you know, I said it yesterday. I'm not going to flip-flop for my opinion. Wolverhampton Wanderers is a must-win. We should win against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we've given Wolverhampton Wanderers their 3rd point, and that should never occur. Why did we do that? There was a number of issues. We're not ruthless. We can't put away our chances. We had 2 or 3 very good chances to finish that game, but so did Wolves. You know, and this is where it concerns me. I know we had players at the AFCON. I know we had players away. But ultimately, the team that went out on that football pitch should be able to defeat Wolverhampton Wanderers, regardless of the tactics, regardless of the formations. That team right there should be able to overcome adversities to defeat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, I'm not going to come in here and say sack him. I'm not going to come in here and say resign. I'm not going to come in here and say enough is enough. I'm not going to do that. That's not the kind of style I do. I don't do that. I have class. I don't do that. I mean, leave that to the other people to do that, because I don't really do that. I don't do things on likes and clicks. I do things to talk about our football club, which I am concerned about. And of course, it's not doom and gloom. We are still up there. Chelsea drew with Bournemouth 2-2. No consolation, guys. Absolutely not, because we haven't taken our opportunity, have we? Man United are very, very confusing, you know. And if you come on this channel and you start talking about bootlicking and things like that, you know what I mean? You'd be out of the channel. You'd be out of the channel and stuff like this. Is about Ineos. This is nothing to do with Ruben Amorim. Ineos gave Ruben Amorim a 4 out of 10 window. I'm not going to flip-flop on that. That's what happened. It was a 4 out of 10 window, and we are playing like a 4 out of 10 window. And that's exactly what it is. We've got players on that pitch who've been there for, 12 years now, you know, stinking out the place again, not fit enough, too slow, sluggish. And the overriding problem for me when I analysed the game properly is that we weren't quick, we weren't urgent, there was no urgency, we didn't run, we didn't sprint. I didn't see any of that, guys. And I cannot individualise it. It was a collective, guys. If I was to pick a player out of the whole team that I felt, all right, he done okay, it's probably Senny Lamens. And Senny Lamens, that is just testament to how we played, isn't it? Well, that is just, it's damning, isn't it? That our goalkeeper was our best player. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it, you know, we could have easily lost that game, especially that a world-class save from Senny Lamens. 2 world-class saves from Senny Lamens was absolutely incredible saves. I mean, unbelievable saves that he made. And I'm really impressed with Senny Lamens. And he was the only real shining light in regards to the game yesterday, if I'm being honest. He was the only one I looked at. And I thought, yeah, he did all right. He did all right yesterday. He can hold his head up high. But I like Benjamin Sesko. I like him. I think he's going to be a great player. But the lad needs to start scoring some goals. He does. He needs to start putting that ball in the back of the net. He needs to start, being clinical, being ruthless, because we can't cope with keep missing out on points because we're missing chances. And that ultimately what the problem was last night. We missed chances, and that's where we was at the end of the day. Let me just say hello to everyone. I'm going to get into some transfer news. We are literally 24 hours from the window opening, guys. Guys, the transfer window is upon us, and hopefully Man United, Ineos, do some goddamn business, because that is what it's all about at the end of the day. They need to do some goddamn business, of course, guys. I want to get through some of the player ratings, though, if you don't mind. I want to get through some of the player ratings. I want to know your opinions as well, how you feel about my player ratings, you legends, and let me know what your thoughts are and who was your man of the match and stuff like that. Was there a man of the match? if there was a man in the match, of course, guys, absolutely, that is the key question, isn't it? At the end of the day, but I'm gonna go through this, guys. I'm just gonna put this up for you guys. Okay, so just so you can read it clearly, this is my player ratings for the game, guys. This was the game. This is what I thought it was. So I thought Sané Lamens was my man of the match. He was 7.5 for me. Saved Man United a couple of times in the game. I felt it was excellent again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Dalot gets a 5.9, very average. Didn't do anything in the game. Didn't cross. I felt he's poor. He's poor. Heaven, 7. Didn't put a foot wrong, to be honest. Assisted the goal, contributed to the goal as well. So I'll say Heaven get a 7. Martinez, again, was very good. 7. I would put him very important for Man United, of course. Luke Shaw, poor. Luke Shaw can't run. Luke Shaw he's finished, guys. Luke Shaw is finished. Luke Shaw's done. I can't have Luke Shaw at this football club anymore. He's been here 12 years and he just looks like he's overweight. He looks like sluggish. He just looks a shadow of the player who was 10, 12 years ago, which is obvious. Poor performance from Casemiro. I felt he was poor in the 5.9. We do. I think the midfield was relatively poor. Ugarte, 6.3, an average performance for me, in my opinion. Torgu gets a 6.4. I thought he whipped in some good crosses in there. I thought he did all right. Not as good as he has been. Had a goal chalked off, of course. Just offside. Xerxes, 6.5, very average performance, to be honest with you. But he did get the goal, which we have to give him plaudit for, of course, guys. Otherwise, we would have lost. Cunha, 6.3, poor again from Cunha. Cunha needs to pick up his levels, of course, in regards to the output. I do understand that Cunha is playing well in regards to his efforts. But in regards to his output, I don't think he's doing enough in regards to an attacking prowess. And Sesko, an average 6.1 for me. And that's just because, obviously, Sesko, he needs to learn how to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I would say about Benjamin Sesko. I like him. I want him to succeed. Of course I do. But at the end of the day, you've got to put that ball in the back of the net, guys. You really do. You've got to start putting that ball in the back of the net because otherwise it's going to keep costing us. And ultimately, that's what happened yesterday. It costs us at the end of the day, guys. And look, I want to hear intelligent conversation. There are a lot of people speaking about Ruben Amorim this, Ruben Amorim that. He needs to resign. He needs to go. I want to know intelligent conversations here. I want to have some proper conversations about what it is, guys. Absolutely. But first of all, I want to get into some transfer news in regards to Manchester United. Of course, there is news about Scott McTominay returning to Manchester United. Now, what do I think about this, guys? In regards to Scott McTominay returning to Man United, no. I've always believed never go back. He's 29 years old now. I don't think Man United should go back. Napoli's the club for him. He's doing very well in Italy over here. And I don't think it makes any sense to bring Scott McTominay back. Man United need to move forward. Man United need to move forward and quickly and fast. Now, what highlighted yesterday is the weaknesses in midfield. Of course, there was weaknesses in midfield. And again, after the thousandth time, it's clarified that we need midfielders. Elliot Anderson is still on the radar, but one interesting one that is open recently, again, is Lamine Camara. Lamine Camara has been linked with a January move to Manchester United. Lamine Camara, of course, is a player who plays for Monaco, 21-year-old centre midfielder. The great thing about Lamine Camara is that he's only valued at around 22 million euros, guys. And again, he is a very, very talented individual. Again, with every single midfielder that we are linked to, we're linked to all those talented midfielder. Manchester United have an interest in Lamine Camara. Monaco are reportedly willing to sell the player if their valuation is met, and that is a 22 million. Multiple clubs begin to compete for Lamine Camara's signature in January, and Manchester United are one of them. The Senegalese midfielder, only 21, of course, identified as an alternative to Carlos Baleba, by the way, if the Carlos Baleba deal does fall through, guys. Monaco are reluctant to lose him in the summer. According to Transfer Market, he has a current market value of 20 million, and Fenerbahce has also recently been linked with a move for this player. So Lamine Camara to Manchester United is a possibility in January, guys. So that is something to look out for. That's something to analyze and see what happens, of course, guys, in regards to that, of course. Now, another player that I spoke about only a few days ago was a gentleman named Lessine Siniako. Lessine Siniako plays for Auxerre, 26-year-old centre forward, guys. Manchester United reportedly in for what is described serious negotiations for Lessine Siniako, guys. on a free transfer next summer. Not January, next summer. United are heavily interested in this. Now, we could take this a couple of ways. This is a Glazenomic signing. He's a free transfer. All that jazz. Of course we can. But according to Africa for Man United, officials are in talks with Sino to represent Siniako's representatives regarding a Bosman deal for when his contract out of Auxerre concludes at the end of June. Now, look, I understand Man United. We need backup. We need numbers. We need squad depth. But we have to be careful. We have to be calculated that we do get the right player through the door. We do sign the right player, and we do obviously get a player that is actually going to affect the football team in a positive way, in a goal-scoring way as well, guys. Absolutely. Now, another player, guys, another one at of course, Red Bull Leipzig, Salzburg, the Red Bull group, of course, guys, is Musa Yao. Musa Yao is a 21-year-old right winger. West Ham are also interested in Musa Yao, guys, according to sources close to the player. The West Ham have contacted Musa Yao's representatives in regards to an €8 million. However, Manchester United, guys, have also emerged as competitors for Musa Yao's signature, only valued around €8 million, which is interesting indeed. So Musa Yao to Man United could be a thing, guys. Could be a thing. Let's see what happens, guys, in regards to that. But that's a bit of transfer news. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, a little bit of transfer news in regards to Manchester United, of course, guys. What your thoughts on this? What your thoughts on this? Musa Yao to Manchester United, Siniako to Manchester United as well, guys. We're going to be getting into some of the news in regards to 24 hours, guys, before the transfer window opens. Guys, we haven't got long. We got a few hours. Are they going to do the business? Are Ineos going to prove to us that they care about what happens on the football pitch? Of course, it's so important that Ruben Amorim is back. If they indeed back Ruben Amorim, of course, let's think about that. Are they going to back Ruben Amorim, or are they going to sack Ruben Amorim? That is the question this morning. Should Ruben Amorim resign? Should Ruben Amorim be sacked? Is it too early? As he's not been backed efficient enough now. Look, as I've said all the time throughout, consistently, that I am Manchester United in and not manager in and not manager out. I'm Manchester United in. That's ultimately what it is at the end of the day. That's what I am, guys. And I will not shift from that. I'm not going to be gaslighted into believing something. I'm not going to be forcing. I'm not a sheep. I don't go on after the game. And that's why I leave the match reaction to now, a few hours afterwards, because obviously I don't want to come on here and start saying things I don't mean and stuff. I was very frustrated yesterday, and I think a lot of us were very angry and very frustrated. And I think I like to give things a few hours, let it calm down, and let's analyze things rationally rather than jumping into things that, later on I regret. I don't do car park things. I don't do kiddie things. I don't offer board members out and things like that, because at the end of the day, why are you doing that? You're not going to do it anyway. Just be quiet. At the end of the day, so this is what, at the end of the day, me. This is how I would do things, guys. But I want to say respect to the community and pick up everyone in the stream, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining me. Let me get through some of your comments, guys. Let me just say good morning to everyone. Good morning, you all. Good morning, Bilal. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. I'm still back and through. Fair play to you, Bilal. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Big up Ski. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We need to force this ownership out. We will never see the glory days with this ownership. Let's forget it. Glazers and Ineos have to go. Have to agree with Ski. They're absolutely spot on. Absolutely. This team can't fight to qualify for European football. Likewise, competing. I trust the manager. He needs players. Really, but we are bad. These wins we get are just scapegoated. But beneath the cake, it's rotten. And this is something we said. Absolutely, Emski. Man United are the icing on the. Man United are looking for the icing on the cake without the sponge. They're not. There's no base there at the end of the day. And when you're looking at that, and it's very intelligent from Emski here, the way he's coming out of comments like that, it's absolutely, because we are very, very inclined to go away from what is important, which is obviously the Glazers out and Ineos out, which ultimately is the problem at Man United right now, which is the Glazers, which is Ineos, of course, guys. Those are the biggest problems at Man United right now, guys. And until they're gone, we're going to struggle. Now, January is a massive, massive month. In fact, January is one of the biggest months in our history, in my opinion, because I'm looking at it and we're going to decide. We're in a very crucial point of our history. We can either go down or we can go up, guys. We can fight for those European places, or we could just go down and you know, drifting into the abyss. That's what we could do. So it's up to us. It's up to Ineos to do the business this January, and it will clarify how their thoughts are around Man United. If they couldn't afford Man United and they couldn't afford to invest in Man United, they should have let Qatar take the football club from the Glazers, clear the debt and stuff like that. That's what should have happened if they couldn't afford the football club. And I'm being real here. I'm being honest. I don't hate Ineos. I don't hate Jim Ratcliffe, none of that. But if they couldn't afford to invest in the football club sufficiently, 100%, they should not have purchased the football club at the end of the day. And that's what I will say about the Glazers. That's what I'll say about Ineos, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up MSK. Let me say good morning to Mark. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Morning, crew. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're well. What's everyone's thoughts? In my opinion, we are nowhere at light speed. Amram is getting pelted, but the focus is on the owners. Bring back the podcast. Bring back the protest. What I would say, guys, absolutely, Mark. Look, the protest, in my opinion, I would be honest with you guys. I love what people do. I love that they're fighting. I love that they're creating movements, which is a lot more than other people do. Would say Glazers out. You know, I like that. But one thing I would say about it is that Man United need to be a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more angry, a little bit more, how would I say it? The ultra. They need to be ultra. You know, like the ultras at Inter Milan and things like that. Man United need to have that sort of vibe. Need to be a little bit more aggressive, I think. And I don't condone anything. I don't condone violence. I don't condone anything. But we need to hit their pockets. Games need to be cancelled. Season tickets need to not be renewed and stuff like that. It's hard, but, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, guys. But big up, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Mark, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, how are you, my friend? A tough draw, but with everyone we are missing, I can see why. I'm not saying he is apart from blame, but I do see progress. Big up, so big up, Mark. And you know what? It's refreshing to hear that, you know what I mean, this intelligent conversation this morning, because that's what we're having. There was a lot of injuries. And look, I just want to bring in a little bit of context in regards to what's going on at the moment. Man United are missing more players than anyone in the Premier League in regards to the AFCON. And that's not including the injuries as well. I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm not using that Man United shouldn't beat Wolverhampton Wanderers because they should. I'm not going to flip-flop from that. But what I would say is that the Premier League is a very, very ruthless league, guys. It's a ruthless league. And every single player, every single team has good players. Every single team has world-class players in their team, or potential world-class players in their team. You're looking at Wolverhampton Wanderers at the moment. They've got a couple of players in there that Man United are linked to. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to remember. Gomez, for example, is linked to Man United. The striker for Wolves was heavily linked to Man United in the summer. This is what we're talking about at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? The Premier League is a tough cookie to crack. And at the end of the day, I know. We're one of the few teams that have given Wolverhampton Wanderers a point. I know. It's embarrassing. It's fed up. But we have to look at the context as well. We have to look at what's going on as well, guys. I'm not just going to go through that same route that everyone else is going for at the end of the day. Guys, absolutely. Mark, big up, Marky Mark. 100% Sal, we look flat, clueless, and tunnel visioned, always trying to do either hit a wonder ball or one-man take. Exactly there. There's so many problems within that football team that what just annoyed me from the beginning of the game. And it was from the beginning of the game that the problems arose. We were slow, we were sluggish, we were clueless. We kept passing side to side, backwards and forward. We weren't passing forward. We were not penetrating the defense. We were not being creative. We were not sprinting. We were walking around, pedestrian like it was a preseason friendly. That's what happened last night. And that's the overriding theme I got from the game. It looked like one of those games again. And we said it in the game that here we go again. It's one of those games again, isn't it? They're not playing well, stuff like that. Again, embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, the players are to blame, heavily to blame. Of course, you can blame Ruben Amorim. Of course you can. At the end of the day, he had a bunch of kids on the bench. What do you want him to do? My feeling is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'll never throw young players under the bus. I'm not that guy. I just don't want Jack Fletcher and Tyler Fletcher getting into this team just because they're Darren Fletcher's son. And that's what I would say. Jack Fletcher's played twice. He's not shown me anything, really. And I'll be honest with you. The players that should have come on before Jack Fletcher was Shea Lacey and Mantato, if anyone. All right. But when you're looking at the bench and you're looking at the young players, you're thinking, wow, look how thin our squad is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people say we need attacking substitutions. The only one is Shea Lacey and Obi Martin. And when Obi Martin, I still think Obi is very, very raw still, in my opinion. I don't think he's the finished article, in my opinion, yet. I don't think he's there yet, in my opinion. Absolutely not. Guys, big up, Mark. Benny, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I asked last night, what was the average age of our team last night? We struggled to beat Wolves, who had on the bench to change it. Kids need players, exactly. If it was clear to see, it was last night. Benny, me and you, and many of us in the community know the problems at Man United and the problems that we predicted at the beginning of the season would arise. Now, this is no surprise to me because obviously I looked at the squad when we came into the season. I think I was even looking at the AFCON as well, way back in the summer. And I was looking at the AFCON and I'm thinking, when the AFCON comes, we're going to be in trouble. And lo and behold, here we are. And I knew that between the dates, and you guys can scroll back between the dates of the 20th of December to the 1st of January, we are going to struggle. Now, it hasn't been all doom and gloom. We beat Newcastle United, we draw against Wolves. But this is the theme that has been going on at Man United for a long time. We're handed an opportunity, we don't take the opportunity. We actually say, nah, we're good, you can have your opportunity. And that's the problem with Man United at the moment. Now, for some twist of fate, we are actually still near the top four. We would have been in the top four yesterday if we won, which is so frustrating. That's the most frustrating thing for me. Guys, because we have got some tough games coming up, and we have got the AFCON, we've got Man City coming up, we've got Arsenal coming up, guys, next month. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a difficult month. It's going to be a rocky ride, not to mention we've got Leeds United who are in decent form. We got them coming up as well, guys. So, we got to start fixing this quickly and fast, guys, because at the end of the day, we're going to end up where we are going to be, guys. Absolutely. Big up Helge, good morning, hope you're well. Good morning, Sal. I had to ask myself yesterday, how bad would it be for me to blame the manager? And I couldn't even answer it myself. It's on Ineos and the Glazers. Helge, very intelligent. As you know, there are intelligent people in this community, and I appreciate every intelligent comment on here. We're not going with the norm. We're not going with the narrative. At the end of the day, we're blaming the owners, we're blaming Ineos, we're blaming the Glazers. And there's a lot of people with big platforms there, Helge, that are forgetting this. You know what I mean? They're just contradicting hypocrites at the end of the day. And we're not going to do that. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell him to resign. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not going to do that. What will be, will be. That is exactly what I'll say. What will be, will be. But ultimately, this is what has happened. The Ineos and the Glazers have hired Ruben Amorim with a distinctive style of play and not backed him with distinctive style of players. Do you know what I mean? And that is what's happened. And this is what you're seeing at the moment. And that is it at the end of the day. Now, if I was Ruben Amorim, I would just simplify things, guys. I wouldn't complicate things. I would just simplify it. And we go forward from there, guys, absolutely. But you know what? There's a lot of revisionism going on. There's a lot of, I told you so, I do this, I'll do this, that, and the other going on in the Man United fan base. And you know what? It's annoying. It is annoying. It's frustrating. And you know what? It doesn't help anyone, does it, at the end of the day? But for example, does that mean he could end 10th this season? I could still not blame him for anything. I don't know. It's hard to judge when Ineos are so shit. It's hard to judge when the manager has not been backed 100%. You can't judge him like that, because ultimately what Man United are looking at is Champions League football and that. We're not like Everton and that who can afford to lose a couple of games, and it's different, isn't it? Big up Ricardo. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. Big up yourself. Hope everything is good with you. Big up, guys. I don't see the game yesterday, but of course, I've seen the news of the summaries with Amorim's defense. I can only speak about United's bench. They have no alternative. Ricardo, very intelligent. Again, my friend, very, very true. Weak squad. I would say to play devil's advocate here, I would say in regards to the squad, in regards to the kids, I don't think Jack Fletcher's ready. I don't see anything special for the lad. He may be in the future, but again, I reiterate, this is no offense to Jack Fletcher, that I just don't want players playing based on the fact that they're someone's son. Do you know what I mean? I think Shea Lacey should have been on that pitch. He's the best young player we've got at the moment on that bench. It's a godsend. We need to get JJ Gabriel through. We need to get him through, don't we? We need to get JJ Gabriel through into the team, don't we? Absolutely. Good morning, Saviour. Hope you're doing. Good morning. We need to start sign tomorrow because the performances of yesterday was not good. Only Lamens, if it's to pick the man of the match. Lamens is actually fantastic, by the way. Again, the men doubters, he absolutely pulled off a worldly save, one of the best saves I've seen in years. I'm telling you right now, that save for Wolverhampton was absolutely unbelievable. Save, absolutely. So impressed with him, guys. It's unfair to judge the manager with the backing and this shit board, but at the same time, it's 14 wins in 14 months, and most of those wins were poor, scrappy wins. I don't know, man. Deflated, man. Say what you mean. Say what you mean. Chest out, Helge. At the end of the day, say one thing, don't say something, contradict yourself with the other thing. It's the board, and that is it. At the end of the day, it's something we predicted at the beginning of the season. At the end of the day, Lamens was has very quick across the ground and great reflexes, and I believe he's the kind poor at covering his top corners. He's reaching or got weak wrists. He definitely approve. I like Lamens. I thought Lamens was absolutely fantastic yesterday. If there's any positive to come out of the game, Dalot was by far the worst on the pitch, in my opinion. Wandered all over the place, very poor passing for long throws. Didn't pass the ball, didn't pass the first man, runs, but it doesn't produce anything. I really struggle to see what he does. Me too, mate. Me too, absolutely. Morning, Lawrence. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, all. Giving up on watching in the new year. Club is chaos. We had no one number 8 to bring us a playmaker outside the 4-3 on the 4-3-3. The team turned up again into a 5-back. Every step forward is 2 steps back. Predictable, awful substitutions and wrong. What do you want him to do in substitutions, Lawrence? I want to ask you the question. What do you want him to do? Look at the bench, mate. Wake up, mate. Wake up, mate. That's what I'm saying. Ding dong. Wake up. What's on the bench, Lawrence? Please explain to me who we got on the bench. We got kids on the bench, mate. Kids. Blame Ineos, blame the Glazers. That's what you do. The first thing you come in here, the Ineos and Glazers, that's when I'll take your comments seriously, when you start blaming Ineos and the Glazers and not just throw the manager under the bus and formations and tactics. Because at the end of the day, they didn't buy him the players that he wanted, did they? Guys, absolutely. I kind of predicted it will be a hard game. I think everyone did. Rajat, big up Rajat. Are they going to do business? No. Will Ineos back Amram? Exactly that. And will they back? And if they don't back Amram, will they back the next manager, Mark? No, absolutely not. Looking like there is a bias with the Fletchers to 2 twins of bros. That's why they play O'Shea and Lacey. I agree, Rajat. That's what I said yesterday. I said, look, I have nothing against the Fletcher brothers, but I don't want players playing based because their daddy plays for Man United. I want players who are ready and fit for Man United to wear that jersey. Absolutely, absolutely. Playing Fletcher, I see the MO right wing was stupid. Lacey is a right wing. Amethyst is not weird. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they are. But at the end of the day, you can't blame him for not having his own players, can you? But Ineos and the Glazers don't give him at least 4 players this window, he should walk because he's pissing in the wind with the whole setup. It's like what Cristiano Ronaldo said, isn't it, Benny? Cristiano Ronaldo said it as it is. He said you're expecting miracles from him. And I absolutely agree with that. We are expecting miracles from Ruben Amorim. Absolutely. I mean, Fletcher twins can play if they're good, but Lacey deserves benefit. I agree. Guys, absolutely. Wesley, good morning, Sal. Long time. I'm upset with the result. I didn't even watch the game. Big up, Wesley. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope everything is blessed with you. Big up. Noradine being mad and yelling. Screaming and shouting. I don't want to lower my IQ with that, guys. Sal, you said it best. Big up, Helge, when you said we want the Glazers out. We want Glazers out. Sounds like a party chant. We need to get proper dark to get them out. Absolutely. Push, not posh and nice up, pretty, but harsh riot. Exactly what I've been reiterating, Helge. We're not scary enough. And that is clarified yesterday at Old Trafford. We are not scary enough at the end of the day. And we don't intimidate. We're not intimidating. Anyone can rock up to Old Trafford and get a result. It's not intimidating. And I put the fans in this category as well. The fans that attend the ground. We're not noisy. We're not scary. We don't chant. We don't sing, at the end of the day. And, when the protest goes on, I don't think it's really intimidating, in my opinion. I don't think the Glazers really care about we want Glazers out. So we want Glazers out. You know what I mean? Hip the hop, the hip the hop, the don't start the boogie the bigger bee. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? And that's what I've been saying about it for, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Tybo, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. 35 years of sport, but I really need to take a rest from football. The owners won't change, so the situation won't either. I can't even hear about the transfers at this moment, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see, Tybo. At the end of the day, to see what they do. It is big, of course. Again, it could have got a CM over in Bremo, another 10, though I'm happy with Embremo. Guys, we're obviously Embremo's been good for Man United this season overall. So obviously we have to obviously give him the benefit of the doubt. They needed to buy midfielders and Embremo. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, guys? Absolutely. David says, good morning. Hope you're doing well. The match was horrible to watch. If you score a goal, keep the flow going, press high. Exactly what we said during the game, David says, is that we don't go for the kill. We don't go for the second and the third goal. And I think that is the problem at Man United. We rest on our laurels. We get 1-0 up and we sit back. And this has been happening for a while, you know what I mean? For years, actually, for a couple of years now, Man United have had this sort of way of playing where we go 1-0 up and that's it. Absolutely, guys, absolutely. Raja, Luke Shaw playing is crazy. He has no idea what to do. Possession is more sideways. Luke Shaw is finished. I think Luke Shaw is finished. Luke Shaw shouldn't be playing for Man United anymore. Big up Sam. What's going on? We keep blaming Amram. It's not Amram's fault. The fault is from the stupid board. We don't have players. Look at the bench. There is no even good players there. We don't even have one first 11 players. Thank you so much, Sam. Exactly that. If people could come to me with this oracle of knowledge about what we had on the bench and what Man United should have done, we could have played Obi Martin. Obi Martin would have went missing in the game. We could have, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, another youngster, Shea Lacey, could have came on the pitch. What do we want, guys? We want players who are unproven at Man United to come on the pitch and absolutely make something happen at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You know, there's a reason behind the madness. And I think people need to understand what the madness is and understand what's going on at the football club. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Guys. Tybo, the owners are shit. The players are not good enough. The manager probably good enough, but lost in this circus. I agree. And the 21st century fans are mostly snowflakes without any proper passion for this club. Scary. It's true, mate. It's very true, Tybo, and that is a damning comment, my friend. And it is a very, very true one as well. And it is chaos. I did say it's a derelict building with asbestos everywhere. Man United is an absolute mess at the moment, and it's not as doom and gloom as people think. We are in touching distance of the top four, guys. To January, right? And that's not bad. However, the problem with Man United are having at the moment, we just can't seem to grasp an opportunity. When there's an opportunity that has been gifted to us, we can't take it. This is a mental thing. This is something going on. It's a mental thing. And we need to start taking these opportunities because you know what? We're just going to end up where we are, sixth, around that area, guys, because we're going to keep taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and that is what the problem is going to be, you know. Absolutely. Big up Mark, by the way, guys. Big up Mark. Ishmael, it's not the players, but the Demitiv Amram and his lack of tactics. Really, was it the players against Eric Ten Hag? Same players. I think it's the players, mate. Players are crap. Did Amram tell Sesko to miss from 3 yards? I don't think he did, mate. You know what I mean? Did Amram tell the players to pass from side to side, not being able to penetrate the defense or having any creative input? I don't think so, mate. Absolutely not. Stop falling into the old chestnut of not blaming the players. The players are to blame, man. They are to blame. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mark. Big up your legend. Big up the live. Big up everyone, of course. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Kept the ball most of the time in our own half. Exactly. That was like inviting balls. And exactly what I've said. It's a good comment, Dabizas. I don't think Ruben Amram set his players out to go out there and start passing side to side at the back. Do you honestly think that? I don't. Guys, absolutely not. I don't think he did that. The thing is that we don't have a mentality. The culture at the football club is such, reserve, preserve. You know what I mean? Preserve what we have, and that's it. Oh, we scored. Let's hold it on. You know what I mean? We don't go, oh, we scored. Let's go for 2-3-0. Let's boost up our goal difference. It's not like that. And that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Academy equals championship players. At best, Fox. At best. At best, yeah. Rajat, play until the first half whistle both games. They are conceding near a halftime. It's annoying. And what do they say, Rajat? When is the worst time to concede? Before halftime, isn't it? Just before halftime. And they did that a couple of times. It's so frustrating, didn't it? I mean, look, there's a few games where we should have won, guys. Absolutely. The similarities between early Ferguson and Amram is absolutely uncanny, Benny. It is, but people won't remember that. And you know, the problem is that people don't want to bring that in. Oh, you're comparing him to Fergie. They start doing all those, you know, those things and stuff like that and get defensive. These guys are like glory hunters anyway. They started supporting Man United because they're glory hunters, and that's about it at the end of the day. 50 likes. Thank you so much, Held. Big up yourself. Yeah, don't forget to smash the like, guys, please. Just get to over 50 likes. Guys, absolutely. Why did he change the previous system from Newcastle? I don't know, mate. I don't think he did. He started with a 4-2-3-1, actually. He started with the 4-2-3-1, and then it evolved into a 3 at the back when we went on. What I would say about it, Dabisas, and I would say this in Ruben Amram, if I was to speak to Ruben Amram, I say, Ruben, look, we don't have the players for the system. We don't have the players for that system. Simplify the game. Simplify the game. But when I look at the game and I analyze the game, we should have won 3-1, 4-1 anyway. There were chances in that game for Man United that we didn't capitalise on and we didn't take. And, you know, again, I mean, football's about fine margins, isn't it? But what I would say to Ruben Amorim is that just simplify the game. We don't have the squad. We don't have the players. Now that we have a weaker squad, you're going to have to simplify it because you know what? These young players and these other young players coming into the team, they don't have the knowledge to play that system. And, you know, we got to try and simplify it. You know what I mean? Guys, absolutely. Guys, big up. Why did he change the system after Newcastle? I mean, I don't know, mate. At the end of the day, we started with 4-2-3-1, Dabby's us at the beginning. It wasn't for Lamens. We probably would have lost this. Probably would, mate. Probably looking at a very, very embarrassing loss. Absolutely. Renee, so what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Speaking of foresight, is it unwise to bring in yet another African player like Blaber? I'm sorry. As this problem will visit us again, or do you see younger squad? Look, guys, as you know, I've been watching the AFCON. You know, I'm enjoying it. Thought it was very good and stuff like that. But what I would say about what you're saying there, Mr. Renee, so there's a reason that Alex Ferguson never purchased African players. It's precisely because of the African nations, and that's why he didn't purchase African players. He only purchased the two, which were squad players: Quinton Fortune, Manucho, Jemba, these type of players that came in. But he never really religiously purchased African players because of the African nations, and you miss them for a good month, which could be the difference between coming top 4 or not, or top 8. And that's exactly what's going on, isn't it? It's exactly what we envisioned. It's exactly what we predicted. Bournemouth 4-4. Now we got 1-1 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. There you go. I guarantee you, if Bremo and Ahmad were started last night, Man United win the game. It's simple as that. We have to be realistic, guys. If Ahmad and Bremo and Mazraoui probably started that game, we win the game. You know, that is the difference. That is what happens. This is why it's harmful. It's harmful. And the problem is, guys, and I will bring on Ineos, I bring on the Glazers again. They should have seen this from the beginning of the season that, look, at the mid-season, Man United have got the AFCON. They knew the AFCON was on. The AFCON has not changed. It's been like that for years. They knew that the AFCON was on. So they had to prepare for the AFCON, and they did not prepare. What did they do? They bring in Bremo, who plays for Cameroon, right, at the end of the day. So, guys, the incompetence is there. It's there for all to see. It's plain for everyone to see. The incompetence is there from the board and Ineos. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Why go back to the problem is what I would say, Jay, is that these players don't have the IQ to play that system. And that is the damning verdict on these players, to be honest with you. They don't have the IQ to play that system. And in my opinion, we just need to simplify it because they can't do anything out of the ordinary. They're not out of the ordinary players. And that's one thing I would say about that. Do you know what I mean, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. Where were we? Dabizas, Lamens is the best sign. I told you guys, I mentioned him before we even signed him. Before we even signed Sede Lamens, I was talking about Sede Lamens and people were shutting me down. You know what I mean? How were Ineos that delusional to even have said goalkeeper was not our priority? It was Lamens who soon up. Lamens saved us yesterday. Dabizas. We'll be even worse, right, this morning if it wasn't for that. Nottingham Forest has played more than United. Nottingham Forest has played more than United. That has not a big disgrace. I believe if United give Amorim exactly the players he wants, Amorim will shine. I feel sorry for him. The guy is a good coach. I feel sorry for him as well, mate. I really do. Absolutely. I do as well, mate. If they don't back Amorim, he should quit the job. You know, I agree, mate. He should resign. If they don't back him, resign. I said this at the beginning of the season, Sam. If people remember, at the beginning of the season, I was saying, if they don't back him, resign. Because at the end of the day, you're on the road to nowhere. You're not going to get anywhere, guys. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's a distinctive style of play. You know what I mean? Said, Box, my uncle said that the UK government should have blocked the Glazers buy in 2005. Well, back in 2005, what the Glazers did, which was a leverage buyout, which was put a loan onto the club and let the club pay for the loan, basically. That was legal back then. It's now actually illegal. Now, we could do retrospective action, but back then it was legal. So what they did was legal. They purchased the football club legally. What I would say is that retrospective action should have been done now and said, right, you can't have this football club anymore. you do not own the football club anymore, and they should have got rid of the Glazers. That would have had. Maybe it's because they're Yanks. I don't know. Americans, they don't want to do that. They want to upset the old Yanks. If it was Abramovich or something like that, they would definitely retrospective action, wouldn't they? At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? So look, it should never have happened. Man United are a cultural institution of who give a lot to the economy, and it should never have happened. Man United should never have been purchased based on a loan. Basically, you get a loan out, and you let the club pay for the loan. It's absolutely disgraceful. You put the loan on the club, and all the capital that comes from the club, all the profits that come from the club, go on that loan. And the funny thing is, guys, is that capital hasn't been paid on that loan. It's only been interest in the last 20 years. And it's madness to think that Man United are in more debt than they were back then. I think Man United's debt in 2005 was like 450 million. It's now over $1 billion. Unbelievable. If they don't sign a midfielder in the winter window, we could assume the manager is being sacrificed. And who we get? One thing I would say, guys, those who think the manager should be sacrificed, I want to see who you want to come in. I don't want to say just sack him. Who do you think is going to work with these players? If Amram was backed and the results are the same, then we know the real situation. We can't even judge Amram now, and I'm surprised the fans don't recognize this. Tybog, I love you, mate. That's a great comment, man, and absolutely brilliant comment. It's exactly that. How can you judge something that hasn't been backed? It's like a supermodel, right? It's like a supermodel who's sitting on the street with no clothes and dirty. This guy's a supermodel. That guy, that is a supermodel. Or that woman, that's a supermodel. They're sitting on the side of the street, but they haven't got the clothes and they haven't been bathed up and they're not clean. So you know what? They're not a supermodel. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm just throwing out any analogy out there. That's exactly what it is at the end of the day. That guy's a supermodel, but he ain't got the facilities to model. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's exactly what it is at the end of the day. You brought in a manager, great at what he does, but you haven't given him the facilities. Breadstick, sword fight, all that business, of course, guys, what we've been saying a lot. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it's disgraceful. Absolutely. William, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, sir. How predictable. Everyone on Amram straight away. Why these shy owners sit back, do nothing, so bored of it, round and round. The people blaming Amram, William, they're the same people. Look, Amram's not exempt from 100% blame. I'm not saying that. But those people primarily blaming Amram for everything, guys, are Glazer sympathizers, are Ineos sympathizers. And that's what I would say about it. Box, my friend. I'm fed up with watching midfielders passing it around each other, the halfway line. I'm fed up with side to side. And Marky Mark, exactly for us to have the best in class, they should have planned instead of running to a coach and not backing him. I'm getting really tired of Ineos. A lot of talking, but no backing. Marky Mark, spot on, my guy. And this is one thing that I would talk about. Do you know what I mean? If they did not want to back Amram with his distinctive style of players, they should have just bloody got Gareth Southgate or bloody Sam Allardyce. Just bloody got that. That's what they should have done, isn't it? Look, guys, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at the market. Look, Amram's doing better than Areola. Amram's doing better than Glasner. Amram's doing better than Thomas Frank. All the managers that everyone said that we should get. So we're going to get those managers right there that are doing worse than Ruben Amram right now. Is that what we're going to do here? Right? Okay. All right. Or are we going to, is there some magic manager out there that's going to be absolutely fantastic for Man United? Is there going to be a manager out there that's going to absolutely be a game changer for Man United? Do you know what I mean? Is there? I don't think there is. There are hipster managers. There are other managers out there that you could possibly get. Maybe get Spalletti, someone like that. Maybe get Antonio Conte from Napoli, someone like that. Maybe get Antonio Conte. Go and get Antonio Conte then. Let's do that. That's going to work, innit? It worked at Tottenham, didn't it? Not. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do not analyse anything on the Serie A because obviously Serie A is a completely different league to the Premier League and it's going to be different. And that's the thing, Marky Mark. There's a lot of noise, no solutions. I want solutions. I want to say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? We can sack Amram. We can do that. Let's do that. Fine. Let's sack Amram. Let's do that. I'm all for it if it works for Man United. And that's what I'm like. If it works for Man United, great. But I want to hear solutions. It's just like the substitution things. Why did he make those substitutions? Who do you want him to substitute? Who do you want him to bring on? Shea Lacey, Obi, same thing. Doesn't matter. Jack Fletcher, Shea Lacey, Obi, same thing. Youth players. Obi might come on and we might have lost. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? No one really knows, do they, at the end of the day? United can only define if a coach is good or bad if you give him what he asked for and didn't deliver. But in this case, United has not given him what he asked for. Sam, spot on, mate. Sam, you're very intelligent. Spot on, brother. Spot on. Marky, why I can't watch other channels now, Football IQ, blaming the manager, when, look, at the end of the day, what we do on this channel, guys, which I like, and I think I've got a very great community here, and anyone who comes out with dumb comments, they're gone anyway. Guys, what I would say is, Marky Mark, you're a legend, and look, we like to balance things on this channel. We don't just go for the norm and the sheepism and stuff like that, because I know it's not the problem. 100% no, it's not the problem. I know what the problem is, right? I know 100% what the problem is. I've been banging on about it for months and months and months, years and years and years. And like I said, just because some of these guys have got big platforms doesn't mean that they're the oracle of football and they know everything. They just took advantage of space in the market. That's all they did, right? And they were fortunate. Luck, right? Doesn't mean that they've got amazing knowledge. Do you know what I mean? There are some presenters who present for major TV channels around the world who can't present. They just got lucky or they know somebody. And that is about it. At the end of the day, doesn't mean that they have the all knowledge and this and that. They have a powerful voice because they're loud, but it doesn't mean their voice is good. Hitler had a powerful voice at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So does that mean that they, you know what I mean? That they have a powerful voice because they got the numbers? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Avril, hi Sal, stayed up to 4 a.m. and totally pissed off performance. I mean, I kept hoping that they will wake up and perform, but as usual, wishful thinking. Avril, I feel you, my friend. Look, I live in the UAE. I'm going back to the UAE on tomorrow. I'm back in UAE on Friday morning. I will be bringing the show back from UAE. But what I would say about the fans around the world who stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning to watch that dross, you know, and I only have to witness it a bit because obviously Man United kick off 8 p.m. in England is 12 a.m. in UAE. And I have to, yesterday was 12:15 a.m. in UAE. You know what I mean? And that is not bad compared to people like you, Avril, who deserve the plaudits. You deserve it. You know, you deserve success and you deserve to see Man United, a successful Man United. You deserve better. You know, there was nothing in that game for me on that pitch that represented urgency, that was represented, I want to win this game. Nothing. Crunching tackles, running. Like, we're not attacking as a unit intensively. It's very blasé. Very blasé. It's very like back to front, back to front. All Wolves had to do was organise. We stay organised, we're good. And that's all they had to do. There was no taking players out of position. There's no overlapping runs, very rare. It was, I mean, big up Avril, big up my friend. Stephen, I'm not looking forward to the Leeds game now. We'll probably win that one, Stephen. They're the sort of games we win. There's some games we draw, some games. I can predict it right now, what games we're going to win. Let me tell you what games we're going to win, right? We're going to beat Leeds away, right? We're gonna probably draw our next home game. We'll probably lose to Man City, right? And then at home. And then we'll probably go to Emirates and draw. That's what Man United do. That's how, but you don't get anywhere like that. Do you know what I mean? What is the issue? Is teething problem maybe? I don't, man. Look, you know that there's a lot of issues at Man United go way up from the board upwards. But who would you get to as a manager? Exactly. This is a broken club at the moment, and sacking another manager. Exactly there. Like I said, I keep bringing in a derelict building situation. The derelict building guys just changing the furniture and not fixing the derelict building. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I always know the players are pissed poor. Fergie won a game with more than half of defenders. Exactly. Fergie knew how to win a game. Fergie wouldn't accept these players. A lot of these players would be playing for Man United right now. If Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, let me tell you that right now, absolutely 100%. A lot of them wouldn't be playing for Man United. William was hoping for fan base would go into 2006 with more intelligence. Clearly not. Very draining. Some fans need to wake up. They won't wake up, mate. They just won't wake up. You know what I mean? Guys, they won't wake up to the fact that it's the Glazers. And if you don't mention the Glazers, I don't take your opinion serious. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, if you're just blaming the players and the manager, fine, you can put some blame on the manager and play, but if you're not blaming the Glazers and Ineos again, I don't know what to say. David says, thoughts on Sesko, Sal? I think a backup striker could come in and take pressure off while Sesko improves. Look, there comes a time, David says, I like Sesko. I do. I think he gets in good positions. I think he creates chances for other players as well. He holds up the ball well. The thing about a striker, and I've seen it throughout my life, is that when a striker doesn't score goals, you know, it's like a little bit, it's like an infection, and it's like a confidence thing. He should have scored 2 goals yesterday. He should have scored 2 goals yesterday. Couple of headers straight point blank at the goalkeeper. You know, it just needed to bury it in a corner a couple of times, and then it would have been fun. We would have won the game. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Dave, the thing is, we've seen how good Amram can be, and we've also seen how atrocious Amram can be. So that being said, Ineos should either back him well in January or let him go in the summer. Well, who they're going to get and get who? It was like, because they're not going to back the new manager either, are they? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because they've proven they don't want to back managers and stuff like that. Raja, it was like an inch or an inch and a half margins between drawing and winning. Yes, it is. That's what football is, Raja. Look at 1998-99, our greatest ever moment. You know, we won a treble through margins. You know, if the ball goes that way slightly or that way slightly, we're not winning that game. And that is, you know, but you make that luck. You make that happen. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Steven, people were saying Wolves should have won. That's United's level. Shocking. Wolves should have won. Man United should have won 3-1, 4-2, something like that, but they didn't. They shouldn't have won. Licha was very good as a midfielder on this 20 minutes cameo. You know, Licha was very good as a midfielder on it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll do anything for Man United just to improve. You know what I mean? At the end of anyone. Roy Keane praised Lamens before the match. By the way, these legends are uttering nonsense in the media these days. It's hard to believe Roy Keane actually praised a current player for once. And he's right. If one player needs a praising, it is Lamens. These players don't need praising. These players have not earned the right to be praised. I'll say it. These players, why should these players be praised? You know? Maybe Aaron isn't good enough, but we just don't know yet. He's 40 years old, Tybo, as a manager at Man United, do we? It's like you buy a car without oil and benzene and want to tour around the world with it and expect it to do a tour without exactly that, Tybo. That's exactly what it is. How do we know? We can't analyze Ruben Amorim until he's got the tools to do the job. The one thing we're saying and let's look at facts here, guys. Let's look at facts, right? Right now, Man United, I'm going to bring up the Premier League table, EPL table, right? I'm going to bring it up, right? Man United are factually, right now, okay, 6th in the Premier League, right? Level on points with Chelsea. Enzo Maresca's Chelsea, by the way. 2 points from 4th, right? 2 points from 4th. Would have came 4th, been 4th. We're 2 points from 4th, guys. In January. You know what I mean? So imagine Ruben Amorim was backed with the players that he needs. Imagine he got the players in that he needs. Where would we be in the league? I guarantee you, probably 4th. 5 margins. Now, Man United should have beat West Ham. Man United should beat Everton. You know, Man United should have beat Bournemouth. And Man United should have beat Wolves. You know? Man United would be clear 4th right now with these fine margins. Football is fine margins. And the fine margins come from the top as well. And for them, the manager to be backed, that's where it comes from, guys. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Ochiamas should start against Leeds on Sunday afternoon. I don't know if he's ready, Samuel. He's not ready yet. Have you seen Obi Martin? He's like a Bambi on ice. Not looking forward to Leeds game, Sal. This is absolutely humiliating. We'll beat Leeds, Kenny. That's what happens. Man United will beat Leeds. Less pressure away from home. These Ruben out fans probably do the same thing with every coach post-rights. But they do, mate. They do every single guys, every single time. Casemiro was diabolical last night. Get these pensioners out. Absolutely too slow. Rajat, whole team was average versus Wolverhampton, Kenny. The whole team, exactly. Doesn't matter who comes in for United to win the league title. The price between 700 to 1 billion that needs to be spent. I agree, and try and recoup by selling some players. I agree, Benny. That's exactly what we need. Exactly what we needed. Get rid of these players, getting in a new team. We needed a Liverpool window. What Liverpool have had, we needed. You know, well, we didn't have a Liverpool window. We had a less window than Sunderland, pound for pound. You know, and that's what we're talking about. How are we going to compete when we came 15th last season and had a Sunderland window? Less than Sunderland window, by the way, you know. Dave, why did Ineos bring Amram to United if they knew how his system is and didn't want to back him? He's struggling getting the best out of these current players. Just back him or let him go. You know what I would say, Dave? We're in a very dangerous position, Dave. We could sack Ruben Amram. Okay, we get rid of Ruben Amram, right? I'm not looking at any manager around Europe right now and thinking, he's the man. He's the man to change Man United. He's the guy. Conte plays free at the back. You know what I mean? And like, he's the only one, the one that highlights to me is Conte, but he plays free at the back. You know? What are we going to do, guys? Who are we going to bring in? Who's out there? You know? Who's the player? Who's the manager out there that can do the job for Manchester United? You know? It's not going to happen. I just don't know. You know, I really don't. Can we sell Slid in Dalot in Xerxes for Roma? Yeah. Let's get Kone. Tybo, Kenny, the problem is just not the cast. It's short. Dalot, Maguire, Amram's bench yesterday had quality of a League Two side. Agree. And that is doing disjustice to League Two sides. There's some very good pros in League Two and League One side. And the starting lineup was nowhere near good enough. And one thing I want to clarify to people, Wolves lost only 2-1 to Arsenal. Wolves only lost 2-1 to Liverpool, okay? We beat Wolves 4-1 a few weeks ago with our first team, by the way, okay? So what I want to clarify to this, right, is that every single team in the Premier League has good players. And you can't expect young players, exactly what I've been saying, the environment that they're being brought into. They're not being brought into an environment with Peter Schmeichel, Dennis Irwin, Eric Cantona, Roy Keane, Andy Cole. They're not brought into that environment. They're brought into an environment full of players that are flattered to deceive, that have underachieved at Manchester United. And this is exactly what I've been talking about, youngsters at Man United. So people are expecting young players to come into Manchester United and play against a well-trained Wolves team. I know they're not done well this season, but they are professionals, right? There are players there, internationals, playing, you know, and you bring on the kids. You know, what do you expect them to do? Those kids are not good enough to start for Wolves. You know, and that's what I'm talking about. At the moment, they're not good enough. You know? We do have a mental blockage, Kenny, and it's something we have to change. And the only way we're going to change that is if we change the team. And that's what I said, guys, absolutely. City's scaring me, though. I hope it won't be as bad as we imagine. No, we're going to beat. No, don't worry about that for now. Let's not think about that. I don't even want to think about that far at the moment. He went away from Ruud van Nistelrooy and Beckham and made him leave United. Who's that? With no blacking in January, the January to March fixtures will be horrendous to watch. We'll have to wait and see, mate. I mean, I'm not going to be doom and gloom. I mean, at the end of the day, we have 2 points from fourth. You know, funny enough. Ineos are not back Amram officially in the summer. Exactly. So exactly what we said at the beginning of the season, isn't it? I wish there was a law that said if your debt is above 400 million, the owner should sell the club or lose. I mean, that's a very good point from Thingy. Yeah, I agree. It is illegal now, though, Sam, to do what the leverage buyout that they did now. You can't do that. If that pounds the owner should sell the club or lose to the government, it would have been great for owners like the Glazers family to leave. You know, this is great because I think the government should do this. I think if you have not paid capital on your loan, let's, for example, you've got a loan at 400 million in 2005 and the debt is still over 400 million. Your debt should be, you should be demanded to sell the football club or clear the debt. I think this is what should happen. I think this is a logical thing that should happen. They should be forced to clear the debt. They should be forced to get the debt for the books. But you know what I mean? It won't happen, guys. 50 of us watching, guys. Smash the likes, guys, please. We need 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. If you guys can do that for me, thank you so much, you legends. I'm alone with this, but I think Sesko is not bad at all. You're not alone, Tybo. I don't think he's bad at all. I think it's confidence. He handles the ball very good and can dribble for a guy that is so huge. Could do better, but he's also surely not our. He's not our biggest problem, Tybo. We don't create enough chances, number one. The chances that we create are like gold. So when you get them, like, oh my God, I've got to rush this chance. And that's what happens with Man United. Because we get so few and far between chances, we're very rushful in our chances. And that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? And we need to create more chances, absolutely. It doesn't make any sense to look at other managers. A new manager won't be back either. 6 months, he will have the same fate. Exactly that. It's insanity, isn't it? Amram started the project, clearing out the rot. Rashford, Sancho, etc. New manager comes in and brings them back. Exactly that. And you're back to square one again. At some stage, we need to stick with the manager. You know what? That is a very scary proposition, Benny. That, you know what happens at the end of the season? We get a new manager in and, oh, don't worry, Rashi, Raz, you got another chance from me. Don't worry about that. You got another chance. It's different. It's a different environment now. You got another chance from me. It's okay. Don't worry about them. You got another chance from me. You know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day. Teddy, unless Amram is back, well, as we know how good the coach really is. Exactly that. Exactly that. We don't know until he is back to the efficient. Big up, Tyrell. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, guys. I felt Sesko was making some good runs. I spotted that as well, right? That was absolutely. He made some good runs and he wasn't picked out a few times. The one of them was Dorgu, I think. He made a good run and Dorgu didn't pick him out. William, these owners must love this. Amram getting blamed exactly that. Big up, William. The club is rotten from the top and bottom. It's a crime that they have done this exactly that. Unfortunately, people like me and you, William, are very far in between, mate. At the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, sadly. Guys, I want to thank everyone. I know it's not the best, but it is. We have to just move on from it, guys. We have to move on. And we have to concentrate on the next game. And that's what happens in football. You just move on and you have to concentrate on the next game, guys. That's all we can do at the end of the day. I want to thank everyone for their support over the year. Guys, I really do. I want to say thank you to everyone who supported Stretford Post over this 2025. It's not been the best year, of course. It's been a difficult year. Of course, Manchester United, it's been difficult. And we've been here together, guys. And I want to thank everyone who has supported me and kept it clean and kept it, football. And I appreciate all the members who've been members throughout this year. You're absolute legends. And you know what? We all deserve the best, in regards to Man United. We deserve success. We do, guys. We really do. And happy 2026, guys. That's all I have to say. And happy New Year to everyone in the stream. Thank you, everyone who continues to support the show and continues to support Stretford Post on our quest. And we carry on growing, guys. Year by year, day by day, month by month, week by week, hour by hour. And we keep going, guys. And hopefully this rot that we're in will stop and Man United will be back by hook or by crook sooner rather than later, guys. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely that. But have a great year, guys. Happy New Year if I don't see you. And guys, big up, Happy New Year, Lawrence. Happy New Year if I don't see you, guys. Take it easy, guys. Have a great time. And you know what? Forget about it for now. We move on to the next one. We move on to the next game. And that's what it is. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. See you soon, guys. Have a great day. Peace.